Hey everybody, it's Greg, and in this video we are going to go over a possible revolutionary way to stretch your Astro deep sky images in Photoshop. But first off, we have to create the image in Deep Sky Stackers. All right, 132 images I took last night of M82 with the ASI Air Plus with a 533 camera and an Optolong L Pro filter. All right, so first thing that you do is you register the check pictures, and I'm going to use the recommended settings. Here, if you go under advanced, you can see I've got star detection turned way down, and that just seems to work the best so far. You can see it's getting about 40 stars. So yeah, last night when I was taking the image of M82, because of where I was located in my backyard, I was sort of afraid that the telescope might have been pointing through a tree branch, but you can see the score here with the pip right here under score. I've got these images sorted by the score number, so we go from 320 all the way down to 143. Okay, so we've selected the top 1 hour's worth of images, 120 images. We're going to compute the offsets. I don't think you really have to do that, but you see the offsets really do look pretty good right here, these two rows. We're going to stack the check pictures. We're going to go with we're going to check the stacked settings, and all right, so we're going to go with that. And the important thing here is what happens after the stack. Before you can load the TIFF file into Photoshop and do the stretching. You go to the levels function, and then you move the middle pip to the left, which brightens up the picture, and you move the farthest left pip over to the right, which will darken the picture. And you do that untold number of times, and we'll demonstrate that in a minute. All right, so you can see here is M82, and it is pretty, you can start seeing the image right here. It doesn't really look all that great, but you can still kind of see the image. But you can see here in this graph, and this is kind of like the important thing, is these colors are not really lined up all that well. So what I've started doing is I've started lining up these images so that they are more or less on top of each other. All right, so I've tried to color correct here, and I click on apply, and you can see it did make a little bit of a change here. And then I save picture to file. I'm going to go with autosave color corrected. All right, so we are in Photoshop now, and we have both of the images that were created with Deep Sky Stacker loaded into Photoshop. So the first one is autosave.tiff. This is the default image that is saved from Deep Sky Stacker after you do the initial stack, and it creates a TIFF. And as you saw, that we did the adjustments with that graph down at the bottom of Deep Sky Stacker, and I saved that result here as the autosave color corrected.tiff, and I have both of those loaded in Photoshop. So the first thing I wanted to do is kind of give a demonstration of how the normal stretching goes with the default image that is created from a Deep Sky Stacker stack. So we're going to create a copy of the default image. We're going to come over to the image mode and make sure that we have 16 bits selected, and we're going to go with don't merge. And so, okay, so it created a separate image. Now it is a color image. Going to go and confirm that. Yeah, it's color, 16 bits, and without that, you won't be able to make adjustments here. when it's selected to 32. So here you've got your normal levels screen, and right here where the mouse is, you can see that this is the line that has the data from the image. And when you stretch the image, you're basically widening the line that has the image data. So here you can see the leftmost pip here will darken the image, and you can go all the way down to 50. And the middle pip here lightens the image. So generally what I do, and I think a lot of other people do, is you lighten up the image by 30. So we went from 1 here on the middle pip to 130, and then we darkened, and I've been going with 30 as well. If you make too radical of an adjustment here at this point, like say you do 50 instead of 30, I think you could overcorrect the image and you don't really end up with as pristine of an image as you would get by doing multiple levels adjustments with these smaller adjustments of only 30 per adjustment rather than say go the whole way here to 55. So and in some ways I feel that this is the equivalent of when Michelangelo was sculpting his statues out of marble. This is like slowly revealing the statue, or in this case the deep sky object that's embedded within the depths of the image itself. So here we did the levels adjustment once, and we're going to go and do the same adjustment again. And you can see that if you do this, it could take a dozen times or so before you really start seeing the image appear. And what I'm going to, whoops, that's a little bit more than what I wanted. And what I'm going to demonstrate is, instead of doing multiple levels attempts here, there is another way to go in with the color corrected image only, not really with the original TIFF image here, but with the color corrected image only, and do like a 1 or 2 step adjustment to get the image to pop out. Right, so you can see the image is starting to reveal itself. So another thing here that I have that I think is critical for anybody who's doing deep sky image processing is Astroflat Pro. It's a item that you buy for from Pro Digital Software. I think the cost is $20 or $30, and it is well worth it. And this just increases the overhead of the image. You can see it lighten the image up a little bit, and when you go under image adjustments, under level, you can see that in a lot of cases it does increase the amount of black that you can darken the left-hand side over here. From the adjustment from here over to here is the amount of darkness you can add to the image. So there are a lot of different ways to go through and play with the levels adjustments to be able to create the image here. You can see that we're getting kind of close to the edge here, and not much of a black adjustment here. It's only 13. So I'm going to go 30 and then go into levels again, and that pip has been increased a little bit. So instead of 13, you can now go to the 30 or 28, for example. So that is just a way that I have started adjusting the levels for stretching. And you can see that the galaxy is really starting to appear here. And this is with Astroflat Pro, as I said. And the stretching adjustments here with levels. So here, let's go to Astroflat Pro again. And yeah, it made a sort of smallish adjustment. And so anyway, I think you can get the idea where from stretching, you go from this picture, which is the default out of Deep Sky Stacker, to this picture. So what I'm going to show next is, instead of going through levels a bunch of times, a very quick one-step process to do that. So now we are on the color corrected image that you saw that I created in Deep Sky Stacker. We're going to make a copy of this image. In Windows it is Control J to do that, and here let's check out the image mode, and it is already at 16 bits RGB color. And so what we are going to do is we're going to go and select auto tone. So rather than go into the levels and adjust the two pips, the left hand side and the middle pip, as you saw previously, we're just going to go to auto tone and get this image right here. You can see, whoa, it really brightened that baby up quite a bit. And then we're going to go to Astroflat again and darken it up and see what happens. And look at that. So just like magic, in 2 steps, you can go from this image to this image, and this is the equivalent, I'm going to claim, to what you saw me do here with multiple steps of levels adjustments. Here, if you try doing the same thing with a default image out of Deep Sky Stacker, the autosave.tiff, this is what you will get. So you have to go through and do the color correction within Deep Sky Stacker that you saw at the beginning of the video. And that's really about it for the quick stretching technique that I thought I would share with you guys. Let me know what you think down below. Clear skies, everybody.